Our final reader is M. Dial, a queer, black, Taiwanese, Japanese, and white chronically ill poet, a grower, which is fascinating and interesting, and an educator born and raised in the Bay Area of California and currently living in Toronto. They are a Kundiman Fellow and recipient of the 2020 PEN Canada New Voices Award and the 2019 Mary Seymour Poetry Award. M's book is In the Key of Decay. So, things that grow decay. And in an interview in the Malahat Review, M had this to say: growing food is all about patterns, cycles, tedious attention to detail, while relenting to and trying to wade through that which you can't control: pests, seasons, changing weather due to climate change. I think undertaking a writing practice is nearly identical endeavor, which I think is just a perfect way of opening into her rather marvelous work. It's got beautiful attitude on the page, kind of like the way a musician call, like attack on the line is there. It's very energetic. It's uncompromising in a lot of ways. It's funny and brilliantly intellectual. And I hope you all enjoy M. Dial.
Thank you so much, Stephen, for that very generous introduction. And thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you, Rob, for the invitation and, again, for all that you do. And right now I'm really regretting agreeing to go last, because what impossible acts to follow. Thank you so much for everything you shared. I learned a lot from you both tonight just by being here. I'll be reading from my book, In the Key of Decay, which is... It's been interesting to read from it lately because it is at its core about America, about growing up in the States, and about America's relationship with the idea of beauty, how America made me feel both beautiful and also atrocious at the same time as I was growing up, and also, about how America claims to be so beautiful but commits such atrocities from its founding genocides and the genocides it continues to engage in and fund all over the world. This first poem is called On Beauty. In my worst nightmares, I'm pregnant. My body swelling not with a demon, but a small task to country. Just as when awake, I'm begging myself into a somewhere, thumbing my ribs for the definition of country other than two blue passports kissing in the desk drawer. Once, my brother's fists flew to another boy's chin for daring to say my name, floating it up to the church camp rafters. Context was irrelevant. In that moment, my name alone enough to warrant a defense. And so back then, I was the reason for a stranger's bruise, naturalized by a brother's rage or protection. In my quiet, I often return to the same question. How many times did the Portuguese ships circle the landmass before deciding on a name? Ilha Formosa, beautiful island. On the map in my grandfather's classroom, it read just Formosa, text so large he couldn't see the land underneath. In Spanish class, we learned Formosa meant pretty, not beautiful or bella, an important distinction. The United States Taiwan Defense Command held its final flag retreat ceremony during the afternoon of April 26, 1979. A few months earlier, my father met my mother in the long, beautiful country of her American hair, an island against the Santa Barbara sky. America, or Megwo, or beautiful country. Pressed breast to breast, I can see it. May. The thing about this country I woke up chasing. May could be plum, demon, eyebrow, ferment, brink, sleeve of a robe, coal to flatter, low wall, meat on the back of an animal, disease caused by anxiety to sleep soundly, a grass that gives red dye, mold, quickening of the fetus, drowned. I bloom with nostalgia for the country of my father's birth, a land I've never seen, perhaps out of instinct to savor the abstraction of home like rice paper melting on the tongue, like a nesting doll of homing pigeons, a domino with amnesia. The experts describe Taiwan as a pawn wrestled over by China and the United States, like two boys might wrestle over a name in a summer camp cabin. Narwhal talk. A bitch is lonely most of the time. Seagulls circle, but they're just looking for the tusk. Mom warned me about that. They don't know I've got ears because all they can see is the point. I know what they mean when they say pretty. They always draw me beluga white, even though I'm mottled and freckled, wonder of nature, freak of nature. Just tell me I don't belong here and get on with it. Rare, aka exotic, aka other, aka none of this earth can be yours. Tantalizing, extraterrestrial, seductive, unnatural phenomenon, prehistoric Jezebel, marvel of evolution, the ocean's cut and paste accidental siren. Headline: part whale, part unicorn, all parts allure. Headline: Captain Ahab's new side piece surfaces off of Greenland. Headline: not safe for work. You won't believe this unicorn of the sea. Unicorn of the sea. I can have either a name or a home, never both. Curse of the incongruent body makes me eternal comparison. Last time a man asked me what I was, I said narwhal. He said no. I said, sorry. What I meant is part rubber, receptacle, part silence with just a hint of sword. You should have seen the way his lips hooked into a smile, jaw of lampoon, teeth all pointed at me. Okay. Kourtney Kardashian announces her autosexuality. Cringe compilation, pixelated headline, thousands of bleary animals clunk over a new word during their morning scroll, new prefix sitting there as a threat. Could it be me? Auto as in mobile? Man sits under his red car near orgasm on TLC, and we all slip the spectacle into our cheek for later conversation. She jacks off to her own blackface IG selfies. Does it even count if her lips that she wants to kiss so bad aren't even hers in the first place? The article says we are all a little bit autosexual. Queen Court lowers the drawbridge into the LGBTQ plus community to anyone brave enough to slip a finger down there or slip into lingerie or slip on the bathroom tiles, caught on the way wet strands of hair might suction to the neck. What they never said was narcissists had a whole world of soap opera right there on the lake's surface. I could have watched the woman with my same name come in my bed 1,000 times, her wet turn to ours because of the way I desire it to be mine, because of the way our faces or hair might be indistinguishable if light were allowed to project us onto some still water, because of the way she said, they always think I'm part Asian and the well of us dried up, the way years later when I finally met someone whose blood twinned mine, I poured her under my paparazzi flash, my thumbs milking my phone for a drop of proof. Do I want to be her or be on her? Is this a mirror or a mirage? Could it be the dye rattle in the cup and out come the same boxes checked on the form? Let me see you under the light. What phenotypes were pegged into your gorgeous potato head? How hypocritical of me to slap the wrists of boys who call me their Weblasian dream and dream up another me poised on a pedestal. Still, I lust. The way a pond lusts for a ripple, the way lonely lusts for a disturbance. Camera shy. Although from babyhood, pretty hung from my thick eyelashes like a duty on the rest of my days, the mistaking of my best friend for my mother's daughter stung worse, like sand across the cornea, like the mocking eye in history. Perhaps for this reason, I wince at the flash, reminded of my green ire at my classmates' green irises, their complaints over how their eyes were glazed red by the flash of their parents' point and shoots. To compensate, I tap danced with a shy fervor on the picnic table until all eyes stuck to my sad cheeks like mouse paws on a glue trap, then retreated behind a parent's leg. Perhaps shy is a disposition, perhaps a friend's mother tried to feed you cat food as a joke. I'm not hiding. I'm letting my body be consumed by another, lest they say I'm pretty as a punchline. With a camera in hand, they can shoot or take your image, theirs forever. Let me feel you in the dark. Let me know you're still there. I made a mistake. I mistook you for myself. I took you for a portrait overexposed. At the border, the protest, the school picture day, my body is developed into another form, flattened into a number and let through, pretty enough to be taken like a hand in marriage. The cop's hair is drawn back tight like a garter-made slingshot as she shoots me in all black on her DSLR, and there, in her eye, I'm ironed against a surveillance state into the shape of a criminal, and there, decades of bowed knees on respectability's floors disown themselves from my blood. As I write this, I sit in a part called Riverview. Although I can't view the river for the houses barricading my eye, don't write where you are or they might hear us. They might see us too clearly and untake us as their brides. We might become the curiosities that killed us. The security cameras might press us like leaves into their pages. Their ring of eyes, hands turning us over, gauging our worth in the curio shop. In my worst dreams, I'm seen at every angle. All my friends who were exposed too many times became brands or shadows. Instead, hold me up to the wind and the sun like a dollar bill, like the pages of a book with a flower skeleton inside. See me only in the way that shyness sees shyness, like my mind's eye pinning the sensation of autumn forever. A leaf fell in my nightmare. I didn't see it, and so it will float, gorgeous, always, never touching the ground. Okay. Thank you so much again for being here tonight. This last poem's title is a bit of a mouthful. It's called, "And the White Girl Tells Me I Need to Marry a Latino Man So That My Kids Can Be the World." If there was a time when no one had yet convinced me that I am more suitcase than body, I don't remember it. My green-fruited organs are tasked with a premature gorging, but I'm 10 or 11, and so is she. And maybe we just finished a chapter about Columbus, and maybe that is why she has this fascination with turning me into both ship belly and cargo, and so I nod my head and smile. Through baby teeth, my baby limbs apply herself onto papier-mâché globe. I'm from 3 continents and settled on a 4th. It whispers in my ear something about habitability, and so all of the landmass south of America becomes the final acquisition to be made. My slumbering womb, a feasting palm. I name the children globalization and post-racial society, but they're pronounced like imperialism, and I place them in daycare, but they get devoured, and sometimes I have dreams that I'm pregnant and choking, and I can't tell the difference, and I'm 10 or 11 and already terrified of penetration and appetite, and the white girl tells me that she was a petri dish baby, and yet I am the one who is the experiment, and everyone keeps saying mixed kids are always the most beautiful at me and my brother without bothering to floss first, and in 1st grade, I watched the movie The Blob with my grandparents and cried. Because what kind of thing eats up people and is still shapeless? And sometimes I have dreams where I awake already engulfed in the blob and I didn't even get the chance to run, and awaiting my period feels like awaiting death. If I don't have kids, do I stop being beautiful? 10 or 11-year-old me hopes she might be sterile, like a mule. I don't want to be beautiful. I want to be swallowed by an ocean I can call my own. If children are legacy, then let mine be every nectaring kiss I place on a friend's cheek, and every drop of non-land my skin has ever touched, and every pink eraser scrubbing away a penciled boundary, and every pleasure that blooms across my landscapes, and every inch we shift back towards Pangea, and every time I say no thank you, and my kids will be the world, and my kids will be the world, and my kids will be the world, and my barren body will dissolve its borders into nitrogen and phosphorus, and one day birth a tree bearing every fruit. Thank you so much.